So about 20 years ago, I noticed my hearing wasn't as good in this side. Like, if I put my finger in that ear, it wasn't much difference. So I went to the hospital. The doctor referred me to the hospital. I went to the hospital, and you've got 3 little bones inside your ear. These are fused together. So we said we can operate, but the chances of it succeeding are very, very slim. Or I can just use a hearing aid. So for the last 20 odd years, I've just struggled with it.
You didn't use a hearing aid?
No, I ain't used it. No, I've just struggled without it. I've just relied on my left ear. My left ear compensates.
What?
What?
Does it though?
No. Sometimes. Depends what side you are on me. If you're on the right hand side, or if there's any low frequency background music, or if we're in a crowded area, I really struggle.
All right.
So all those times we were at EGX
my mother-in-law,
and it was noisy in the EGX and that, and you were talking to me. And I'll probably go, yeah. I didn't hear a fucking word.
Now I understand. It all makes sense.
All
right, let's kick this off. Kim's got a football game to watch in a little bit.
Yeah,
Go Chiefs.
It's a big game.
Go.
I'm sure it is, but it's still fine. I mean,
Go United. Wait, no.
Right, are we ready?
Man City.
I'm cheering for the Lakers in that game. Whatever game it is.
Right, I'm going.
The All Blacks.
I'm running titles.
Are you?
No, it didn't work. What the fuck?
oh God.
Right, my intro. Oh, my stream deck ain't working. Right, I'll do it manually.
You just
1, 2, 3. Here we go.
You're gonna need to give me a thumbs
Good evening,
up
ladies
when to
and
go.
gentlemen. Y'all are listening.
Never mind.
Overseas Connection.
Shut up. Just talk and sit down.
Here we go.
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started. Medic! I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 855 of the Overseas Connection podcast. Today, September 28th, 2025. I am one of your hosts, Greg DeLacy, gamertag Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. Yes, I said Twitter. We are a video game podcast, folks. We come in every week talking video games, talking life, and that's what we're going to do again this week. Strap in. It'll be a fun show. We do this every Sunday, 8 p.m. in the UK, 12 p.m. on the West Coast, 3 p.m. on the East Coast. And if you happen to, unfortunately, live in the Central Time Zone, it's 2 p.m. your time zone. We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. So you can actually dive in live, hang out with us in the chat, be part of the experience, or catch us on the rewind. We will put forward an audio version of the podcast so you can listen to it when you're having your morning cup of coffee tomorrow or the next day or the day after that. There's no limit on when you can listen to us or how to listen to us. What we do have a limit on is hosts. Sort
Really?
of. We've got our four main cadre. We're all together again. I appreciate, by the way, you guys covering for me last week. I'm going to start with my Brady Bunch box to the bottom right. Mr. Christopher Matthew, how are you?
Amazing. Simply amazing. Glad you're back, Greg. Hope everybody's well. Fall is upon us and the weather is nice outside, so go out and enjoy it.
Yes, enjoy it while you can. That was a horrible smile. Oh my God. Also on the show, crossing his fingers with brand new internet vibes, Mr. Mark Wright. Mark.
Hi, Greg.
How's the internet?
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, touch wood. Yeah,
all right.
I'll get into that in story time.
Excellent. And last but not least, speaking into Mark's good ear is Kim Woods. Kim, how are you, Kim?
And unlike last week where I had nothing to say, I have a lot to say this week. So prepare yourselves.
Oh Lord, strap in, people. Strap in.
Nice.
I don't know what to say other than let's talk about some birthdays. This is the celebration show. You know why? because yes, my birthday is tomorrow. However, there's a lot of birthdays happening in a short period of time in my life. So my nephew, Austin Carr, happy birthday to him on the
Is that
27th.
the comedian guy.
Yes,
Yeah, I
the
thought I
comedian
recognised
guy.
him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is he still doing that?
Then he still is doing his comedy, although he did have to take a real job on top of it. So as much, most comedians do early on. Wilma Giel, my mother-in-law, celebrated her birthday on the 26th. My sister Renee celebrated her birthday on the 21st of September. And just to throw some added wrinkles into this, we'll get to that Dorian dude in a second. But my anniversary is on the 2nd. My other brother-in-law, Frank, his birthday's on October 2nd. Ken, my other brother-in-law, if you're counting, his birthday is on the 7th of October. It's crazy.
Christmas
how
was
much
busy
happens.
times in your family, wasn't it? A lot of
Apparently.
procreating in Christmas time.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way,
Well,
Dorian Ellis having a birthday. We love you, Dorian. Just giving you a hard time. So we got a lot of birthdays. I'm not singing my own birthday song, but I do expect, Mark, you have something to play.
I've got the Minions queued up for you. Here we go.
I think that's perfect. I'm assuming it ended. I don't know. Okay.
Right.
This
Yeah, the
got
audio
scrunched
for
from
us, by the way,
audio,
just
yeah.
inside baseball here for the listeners. So the audio plays perfectly through the stream and everybody hears it fine, except for us within the call.
It worked fine. in
Sometimes
Skype,
it cuts in
didn't
and out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah, it
weird.
did.
Yeah.
Skype was
Skype
perfect,
is
but
dead.
This got We might have to start.
Embrace the future.
What about?
I
trying
don't want to
TeamSpeak?
say anything. I loved my Skype. I'm angry that they have taken Skype away from me. But
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
You don't like the future, neither do you?
No, I hate the future. The future, especially as we get older, the future's not exciting. Let me just say that right now. Let's talk some story time, Mark.
Everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
Now, see, that
All right, so
came
now
through.
I'm reversing order. Kim, you had a lot to say. It's time to say it. What's been going on with you?
Oh my God, so many things. It's ridiculous. And they're all kind of tied into the one main story, so I guess I'll start there. All right, Thursday night, picture it if you will. It's 7 o'clock at night. Dad's been working in the field, so he usually doesn't get home till late. So I'm usually make dinner for myself and then, save him some, whatever. So I'm sitting there. I've just ate my dinner and I'm drinking a beer and, having a good time, just settling in for the night. All of a sudden, my brother calls, which is, not usually a big concern or anything, because, he likes me and I like him. So if he calls, that's all good news.
It's fair.
Except he calls and he's like, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm just, sitting here drinking a beer, enjoying my Thursday night. And he says, well, I hate to break it to you, but he says your horses are out. Oh, well, and of course I live next to a highway, so obviously my anxiety level is like right here. So I'm like, all right, give me a second. I have to get my shoes on and I have to go get feed, because that's usually the easiest way to get them anywhere is feed, because they're basically gigantic dogs who are led by their stomach. So I'm like panicking. My stomach's all in knots. I'm running out the door. He's like, I tried calling Dad. He didn't answer. So I'm like, all right, while I'm going out there, I said, I'll try to get a hold of him. So I get the feed and I'm starting to walk out back there and I call Dad and I says, we've got problems. And he says, well, what's that? And I said, our horses are out. He's like, well, where are they out at? And I said, I don't know. I said, Tuff didn't tell me. I said, but I'm assuming he said that somebody stopped and had to run them off the highway. So I said, I'm assuming they're out by the restaurant. And he said, well, that's strange. He said the restaurant didn't call us. Normally, if something happened like that, the restaurant's pretty good about calling us and saying, hey, your critters are out here. So I'm like, well, I don't know. So I'm walking out to the pasture and I come around the corner and I look towards another section of the pasture and boom, there are my horses. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Because you got to realize, by the time my brother called and the time I found the horses, there might have been 10 minutes past, And while, yes, horses can run fast, but if they were out where we think they were out, there's no way in 10 minutes they could be in the section of pasture they were in. Or I would have at least heard them running across the pasture to get where they were, right?
Fair.
So I call my brother back and I'm like, when this person called you about our horses being out, did they happen to tell you, did you happen to find out when they said they were out? Oh, no, nothing like that. Okay, well, crisis averted, problem solved. There's my horses. Don't know for sure if they were out or not, but we're like, we'll shut the gate. We'll keep them out of the section that they were in, so that way if there is a hole in the fence or they jumped over it, they can't do it again, right? So we did that, and everything was fine, except that night I didn't sleep worth a shit, thinking I was going to get another phone call saying they were out, because we didn't find where they got out. So the next morning, bright and early, before Dad goes to work, he's like, well, we'll walk the fence, because we've got electric fences up to keep them, keep them in, that sort of thing. And he said, maybe between the deer and them, maybe they knocked a section down, and that's how they got out. Because, of course, where we live, there are deer, and they don't give a shit about fences either, so...
Right.
They're like, oh, hey, look, a fence. We're going to jump over it and knock it over. No big deal. So we walked the fence. We found a couple of spots where they were down, but there was no tracks. And if you know anything about animals, if they find a spot where they can get out, there's going to be tracks where you can tell that they've been. No tracks, nothing. So we're like, this whole story just sounds fishy. Because in all the time we've lived here, at one time we had 8 horses. We sold 4 of them. And after we sold those 4, the ones that we had left never got out. Never once. And that's been, I don't know, what's that been, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. And then all that time, the only time my horses ever gotten out was because it was Dad's fault. Because he either left the gate open because he was mad about something else and totally forgot the gate was open, or my dad, I love my dad, don't get me wrong, but he has the same opinion I do, as they're big dogs, they'll be fine. So instead of actually wiring the gate shut, he'll hook it. So then the horse will come along, paw at the gate, the hook will pop off, they can get the gate open, there they are. So that is the only 2 times my horses have ever been out. So over the last, 4 or 5 years anyway, they don't jump fences, they're fine. So anyway, we go through, we're checking the electric fence, we get it all fixed, and we can't find anything. Well, I talked to my sister about it. She knows the woman that had called and told us her horses was out. So she said, let me message her, at least figure out where they were out at. And then that way you can check that section of fence. So, we wait, and I'm tired and exhausted between walking in the fences and not getting any sleep. And about 10 o'clock, she calls, and she says, get this shit. I said, okay, what? Turns out, 4 miles up the road, there is a guy that has horses. Now, I didn't know this till right now. But apparently, those were the horses that were out. Not my horses.
Mistaken identity horses.
Yes, because Dad had said, and it was funny because that morning after we checked the fence and before he went to work, he said, you watch. Just because we've had horses all these years, someone's going to assume that those were our horses and not somebody else's. Sure enough, like I said, 4 miles up the road is the horses that had gotten out. And I have to laugh because all I can think is 4 miles up the road. How did they figure that was us? But I digress. So anyway.
Well, a couple quick things. One,
right.
As you're telling this story early on, the thing that jumped into my mind was those horror movies where it's like, do you know where your kids are?
Right.
The calls coming from within the house, that kind of it was that vibe. But also, exactly. Kim, I feel like you need some kind of little buggy. Like all-terrain little buggy to be able to drive around, and not an ATV. I'm thinking like one of those more kind of souped up heads, got a little cover top to it that you can just jam along the fence line. This would solve a lot of problems. Right. Also, it would be fun. You could carry a gun with you if you wanted. I mean, I'm just saying, you have options there.
Exactly.
So I think that needs to go on your Christmas list.
That might be a thought. Well, I have a 4-wheeler, but it's been a while since it's been running, so I probably need to have it looked at again, and it needs new tires. So that was out. But funny you should say that, because another part of the story is, while we were walking the fence, Dad had decided, since we had to take tools and insulators and all sorts of the things, we loaded all that up in the back of Dad's Jeep. We've got this little 90-something compact little Jeep, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. And he drives it to work every morning. So we take it back there, and we're doing our thing. Well, there in the fence, there is a low spot where the ditch is. And there's all sorts of underbrush and everything. We couldn't drive the Jeep through it. So Dad's like, and of course, we all know, I have the balance of a drunk. So my ass does not need to go down there where the brush is. So I can fall over and probably break a hip or something. So he looks at me and he goes, so do you think you can drive the Jeep? Now, mind you, driving is not necessarily my thing. It's, it's a deal. And I said, well, yeah, I guess. I mean, actually, the first thing I said was no. And then he looks at me and he kind of grins and he says, you'll be fine. I'm like, okay,
Step up,
all
kid.
right.
Step
whatever.
up. Come on.
Yeah, right. He's like, grow a set of balls. You can do this. So anyway, he's sitting there and he's telling me about it. He's like, make sure you give it a little gas, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I have driven before. I'm just not, comfortable with it.
Now, manual
Yeah.
transmission or automatic? We need these
Automatic.
answers.
But
okay,
I did,
all right, okay.
At first,
That's
I did
in your
think it
favor.
was a stick. Yeah, yes,
Huh?
because I can't drive a stick to save my ass. Automatic, on the other hand. And he laughs and he goes, well, really, the biggest thing you have to worry about is trying to get in this thing. And I look at him kind of puzzled because I'm like, well, but why? I admit my legs do not function properly at times, but I'm like, I can get into a vehicle just fine. Well, then I open the door to go to climb in, and I'm like trying to get my legs up in it, and I'm like, oh, wait, I see what he means now. The steering wheel for this thing does not adjust. So there's your first
it's
problem.
that old school.
Yeah,
All right.
It does not adjust. This thing was built for tiny, short people. I'm 5'9". Most of that is leg. So imagine, if you will, me trying to climb into this thing, and there's that much space between the steering wheel and, the seat. And that's probably the back of the seat, not even, like, the bottom part of the seat. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to granny this. Basically, I just had to sit in the seat and then pull my legs in after me, because there was no other way I was going to get in this thing. Because honestly, I looked at Dad and go, the steering wheel doesn't adjust? Nope. I'm like, oh. Okay,
So-
well then.
Okay, more fun facts. So I would not have guessed 5'9". I
Right.
squarely would have been on team 5'6".
Right?
Kind of just based on years of knowing you, Kim. That's kind of where I had you pegged. Now that
Right.
you've thrown out 5'9", that's an above average height for a woman. I just want to throw that out there. I don't
Right.
know if Mark or Chris ever had guesses on your height, but I mean, you played halflings for many sessions of D&D, so I think that helped give a perception of shorter stature.
Right. Well, if it helps you any, and up until I had surgery several years ago to kind of fix things with my legs, and the first thing they did after I recovered was she looks at me and she goes, "Speak of the horse, when if you have cerebral palsy, you kind of walk like a T-Rex."
Right.
And so the first thing she did after we had the surgery and I healed up, she goes, "I'll bet you don't know actually how tall you are." And I'm, no, not really, because I'm used to being hunched over, and people don't generally look at me and go, "Oh, I bet you're that tall." They just
Right.
kind of, they're nice about it and they let me go. So anyway, they did that, and she's like, "I'll bet you didn't realize you were 5'9". Nope, sure didn't. So anyway. So anyway, I get in the Jeep, I do my thing, and he's telling me where to go. And he's like, "Don't go over there and don't get stuck over there." And he's like, "But it's 4-wheel drive, you'll be fine." I did all right. I didn't get it stuck. I took like 2 spins around with it, and it comes out because I'd forgotten where the low spot come out at, and I didn't know where the fence ended. And he comes out and he laughs. He said, "I thought for a minute you just drove off and left me." No, I just couldn't figure out where the fence was.
I mean,
So-
careful what you wish for, Dad,
Right? Well, that was his next thing. He's like, "Well, maybe that's what we need to do. We just need to send you out here in the pasture with the Jeep and just let you, figure it out. You'll be fine." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure." But anyway, and on top of all that, not only did I drive the Jeep, but I don't know if you can see that, but I got poison ivy from walking the fence. So I have it on both of my arms now.
This, by the way, goes
Miss
back to
Eugene's as well.
Yes.
yeah. You looked like you crawled through walking the fence, not necessarily walking the
kind
fence.
of. But I mean, you got to understand, some of those weeds were like, knee, hip high. So, I mean.
This just goes back to, though, my comment of having some kind of vehicle to do that would be a far better solution than trying to actually walk the fence
Well, yeah, but at some point you
or-
actually have to walk it. So.
or use your
Or-
horse.
Horses.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yes. Yeah, but then you still got to get off the horse and go, fix the section of fence that might be knocked down, because we did have a couple where the deer had ran through and they had knocked it down. But admittedly, the horses didn't find it, or they just didn't give a shit. Like I said, normally my horses are, if you throw feed in front of them or they've got plenty of grass in front of them, they're not going to go anywhere. So, I mean, like I said, the times they did get out, they ended up in my front yard eating grass. So,
Okay.
yeah. So that was my big excitement for this week. So I think I made up for being boring last week, because between the poison ivy and driving the Jeep and the horses not being actually out,
Okay.
yeah, excitement.
But yeah, I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, you and me both, to be fair, because, woof. All right, I'm done. Next.
Okay. In which case, I'm going to connect the dots diagonally. Christopher Matthew, what's been going on with you?
Not nearly that much excitement. I don't have any horses or any fences, so or jeeps for that matter. Let's see.
But
I'm gonna.
I was gonna say, have you ever stood on the fence?
Did you get
No.
poison ivy?
That's a
I
few
have
good men referencing.
Yes, on the
I have
fence.
stood on. I have stood on the fence. I don't think I actually have a reaction to poison ivy. I feel like as much time as I've spent crawling around in the mud in places where poison ivy is, that it would be impossible for me not. And I don't like look for poison ivy. Leaves of three, don't touch me. So I don't know that I have a reaction to poison ivy. So maybe I'm just lucky, or maybe I'm just like maybe both. Whatever. So first thing is we have an annual gathering where the some of the national labs, right? So Los Alamos Labs, the National Lab, those people, they send
Name
some
dropping there,
representatives.
just for the record, those are very prestigious labs. And just, these guys.
I just when you say national labs, people don't often know what you're talking about. But this is just a whole national labs complex. The most famous of which are Los Alamos, Lawrence Livermore, and
Right.
to a lesser extent Sandia. But I think there's like 20 national labs. Anyway, they send some people here to kind of recruit students for summer internships. So it's always fun to hang out with them. And I learned this week sometimes having a little bit of a tantrum can get you what you want. And so in short,
You didn't learn this when you were 2?
no. In short, we have what's called a no host social, which is we're going to meet these folks for dinner, but we're not, everybody's paying for themselves kind of thing.
Okay.
We're just all going to meet up somewhere.
Right.
And my friend who was in charge of it had picked this place that we've done in the past and is just not great. And so I went to this person. I was like, hey, I know we've done this place in the past and it's just not great. This other place has very recently opened up and it's way better. And they were like, well, I asked for a vote and the only person that voted for this place. I was like, all right, fine. So I went and talked to the one person who allegedly voted. And I was like, really? Like, you know better. This other place is terrible.
Right.
Then the person who voted went back to the person who was in charge of it. And we basically started a mutiny and got the location changed to the better place. And so it was a little bit of a social insurrection. I felt a little guilty for my friend there, but it worked out.
You can't feel guilty for poor. That's poor judgment. Sometimes you need a little push and recognition that, you know what, and it's okay to admit you were wrong and you made a bad choice. So, you're really helping your friend at the end of the day.
Because you had a bad, yeah. And in their defense, they picked a place that was pretty good, but it's closed on Tuesdays, and so they just went to a different place in the same building, which is not very good. I was like, let's not just default to this because it's convenient. Let's go someplace better. Anyway, it also happens to be a place where I'm a regular, so there we go. So
is this back to the Barfly story where you're like it's frequenting a little too often?
It's the same bar, yeah. Okay. It's the same bar. But it's a really nice place. It's got a big
absolutely are loading up the rewards there, aren't you?
If only they had such a thing. But
it's the silent rewards, Mr. Matthew. They're taking note.
Yeah, I hope so. So we had a good time. And then another person that I work with there's a big, when I say Renaissance fair, I don't know if they have Renaissance fairs in the UK since there was a UK during the Renaissance. So they just call it the fair, I guess. Here in the US, for our overseas listeners, we have these things called Renaissance fairs, which used to be a little bit of historical recreation of the way, you would see a blacksmithing demo, you might see a sword fighting tournament. At some of the bigger ones, you might see jousting. They've kind of morphed a little bit more into
nice pull, Mark. Nice pull. I'm seeing the video right now.
All right. They've kind of morphed a little bit into kind of a little more fantasy element to them. And so, yeah, there we go. So New York State has a big one. They actually have like a fixed facility They're open for like 2 months every year, but it's one of the bigger Renaissance fairs, and one of my friends has been after us for years to go to it. So we finally were like, yeah, let's go. Why not? It'll be a great time. And it was fun, but I was really impressed by people's commitments to their costumes.
So that was one thing I was going to ask. We talked about this a little beforehand. Did you go in costume? Did you not? You had costume-esque attire.
So I did not. I opted for. It was pretty warm out. It was like 80 degrees, and so I opted for sun protection and coolness. And so, not as in like staying cool, not as in like
I'm puffy shirt.
With it cool. I ditched the puffy shirt. Yeah. But I was looking around, like there were people there in like chainmail and plate mail and leather armor and all these long cloaks. And it was not cool. It was not a crisp fall day. It was a little toasty. So I was impressed by their commitment to the bit. But yeah, this is one of the larger ones. They do have jousting, so they do have people on horseback clashing against each other with lances. The one highlight of the day was we did the pub crawl, and the pub crawl, they just take you to 4 different bars throughout the grounds and give you a drink. But along the way, they tell lots of bawdy jokes. So, but we had a nice time. Spent the day outside, walked around. Saw some demonstrations of falconry. And luckily it was very crowded, because I remember going to the Ren Fair as a kid, and I was always like, man, I would love to have all that stuff, but I have kid money, and kid money cannot afford a suit of armor. Right. Well, now I'm at the Ren Fair and I have grown up money. And the only thing stopping me from going and buying one of these ridiculous suits of armor that are currently on the video is it was just too crowded and I wasn't going to go in the store. I was like, I could totally go in there and walk out with a suit of armor, but it's too crowded.
So, it's funny. So Renaissance fairs, I feel like, they've been around for a long time. I feel like their origins very much were like a nerdy historical kind of start. The only people that went to the Renaissance fairs were kind of like the Dice Club kids, and then you had some historian types. But they've come into like a very kind of trendy, vogue kind of like thing to do.
Yeah.
Where the bar wench is plentiful.
There were plentiful. Yeah, there were plentiful servers of adult concoctions. Yeah. It was a nice time.
Okay. All right.
It was a nice time.
Excellent.
It is.
I've never been to a Renaissance fair. It's on the bucket list.
You should check it out. It is a little weird that you pay to get in, but then it's like a whole bunch of shops. It's like I'm going to pay to go to the shops. Yeah. But it was a nice time anyway.
Okay.
That was what I did this week.
All right. Excellent. Boomer is proclaiming they have one where he lives as well. I don't know if Boomer dresses up as a bar wench when he attends or not, but it seems appropriate.
He might.
All right, Mark, what's been going on with you?
So,
do you have any Renaissance fair stories to tell?
No, I've never been to one. I didn't even know we had them in the UK, but I did a Google search while Chris was talking, and there is one in the UK where Google found.
See, and I get it though. So. Yeah, I get why you wouldn't, because it's just kind of like, how you grew up. That's just, it's what it's like, right?
Well, it isn't how I grew up, but yeah.
All right. So what's been going on? How did the internet installation go?
So yeah, the installation guy came on Tuesday. It was only here 2 hours, installed it. Runs great. Yeah. Still got the Virgin running parallel to it, but it's not really connected to anything now. So yesterday, when I had my first bit of spare time, I replaced my main Ethernet cable from where the router is to the man cave, because I've got a Cat 8 cable. Because my old cable was going to probably struggle, because I think a lot of the older cables only can manage up to 1 gig bandwidth. So yeah, I've put a new Cat 8 cable in, and yeah, I've got full 2 gigs down and 2 gigs up, and had no issues so far, touch wood. Yeah, so fingers crossed, no drops frames yet, and I'm streaming at 60 frames a second instead of 30 as well. So yeah, how this goes. Yeah, fingers crossed.
We're in all our glory. I love it. Okay. Is Virgin dead in your local area?
Because
I think everybody signed up for this new company, did they not?
Yeah, so my mum had hers done Thursday. She's happy with it. My son's had it installed as well. And my mum was at the bingo Friday night of a local club, and apparently the whole of our Saltaire village, everyone's leaving Virgin and everyone's signed up to this new provider. So yeah, Virgin are losing a lot of customers. So serves them right for not supporting the thing. But the thing with Virgin is the infrastructure was put in over 20 odd years ago, and they haven't really upgraded it. And it's fibre to the cabinets in the street, but from the cabinet to your house, it's copper wire. It's like a copper coax cable.
Okay.
And we're having a lot of issues as well with overuse, oversupplying the customer base. So in peak times, it slows right down. But this the new full fibre one, Brisk is a company I'm using. They're full fibre right to the house, so right to the little box on your wall is a fibre thing, and the box on the wall is like a built-in router thing. You just plug your Ethernet cable in there to go to your main router. It's like a modem, sorry. It's like a modem on the wall.
Yeah.
Whereas with Virgin, you had a coax cable coming in your house, then you had a modem, which acted as a router, or you could put it in modem mode, and then our own separate router. Yeah, so yeah, it's so far so good, but it hasn't even been a week yet, so let's see how it is in a few weeks. So let's see if we can maintain the speeds. You know, when you get something new, like I did with a PC, I was constantly checking temperatures. So every day I've been constantly checking internet speeds.
What's my internet speed today?
Yeah, but yeah, it's never dropped below. It's always been like 2143 megabits per second or something like. It's never dropped below 2000.
Okay.
But yeah, so far very happy. Yeah.
Well, the rest of us are very jealous of your internet speeds.
Well, I'm just hoping the stream doesn't suffer. I'd have been happy on 1 gig if it had been stable, but it's got that bad lately. Every time I streamed, I think because of the crap upload speed I had, I think it just struggled and it just like spluttered every time we were streaming. I never had problems playing games or anything, or watching YouTube videos, or I occasionally had video streaming issues on Paramount and Amazon Prime. Never with Netflix, so weird. So sometimes Paramount and Prime would stutter when I first started a video, and then it'd catch up. So
we appreciate you talking about your streaming issues, Mark. We do.
But since the new internet, even that's gone now. So yeah, Virgin was a bottleneck, and Virgin. At the moment, it's going to cost me £300 to buy out early because my contract ends in March. But after Christmas, I'm just going to bite the bullet and pay them off and get rid of it after Christmas.
Well, so let me ask you a quick question, because this now doesn't make sense to me. So if it's going to cost you $300 to buy them out, regardless of when it happens, why wouldn't you do that now instead of paying a monthly bill to them?
Every month that buyout amount reduces, doesn't it? Because you're paying your monthly bill.
Right, but what's your monthly bill?
£70. But we've got the TV with it, so until I get a TV replacement, I don't know what to do about my TV yet. So Jenny watches a TV package, so I'm just keeping it for the TV at the moment. And also, I know you get 90 days, but I've had my email address with it was originally Telewest, and it's a Blue Yonder email address. I've had that over 20 years, and I have so many accounts linked to that email. It's going to take me ages to
transfer that.
Yeah, well, I'm migrating them all over to my Gmail.
Yeah,
but there's still loads I haven't done yet. I've been doing it slowly over a short period of time. But I want to make sure I get all them done before I close my Virgin account, just in case it's like immediately cut it off.
Yeah, I would ask if you can keep the Blue Yonder email, even if because they won't do it.
Yeah, no, I've checked on all the forums now.
Yeah, AT&T they let me keep it even though I killed my AT&T service.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, loads of people have asked.
Well, Mark is no longer got Virgin or a Virgin. I don't know how you want to look at that. And
I'm going to be Virgin-less.
The streaming issues have been solved. There we go.
Crossed. Well, we don't know yet. We haven't finished today's stream, but so far, 34 minutes in, it's streaming at 6,000 kilobits per second and 0 drop frames.
Be confident in your stream.
Yeah. Confident in my internet. Yeah.
I suppose that leaves me. So last weekend, my mom was down. We had a nice barbecue. Just a lovely kind of end of summer barbecue. And anticipating weather changing, although it hasn't really changed yet. So still some nice weather. Got in the pool yesterday. Had a nice day. So my wife went down to visit her mom on Thursday because her mom's birthday was Friday. And so that left me home with Colin. And so when that happens, typically speaking, when she's gone for a few days, I'll get our sitter to come watch Colin in the evening, and I'll go do like a gym run, and then maybe I'll grab dinner. Sometimes I'll go catch a movie. It all just depends upon kind of timing of everything. So I decided I was going to get in some gym, quick bite, and then I was going to go try and catch a movie. And I noticed a lot of reviews praising the movie One Battle After Another. Mm-hmm. That's with Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn. I did not care for the movie. It was kind of Quentin Tarantino-esque in terms of how they tried to shoot it, like very stylized. Music really kind of it really drove a lot of scenes, if you will. The performances by Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn are great. They are fantastic. The story, the direction, I would just say this. There's a definite agenda to this movie. And they definitely portray a group of individuals as pretty much like just the evil empire. And I just kind of walked away from the movie. I almost walked out of the movie. I contemplated. I was just like, this is just stupid.
That's not good
but
at all.
I stuck with it. I did enjoy the performances. Even though the story itself, I could see where it was going from a mile away, and I was just kind of like, but okay, whatever. And then work has just been kind of crazy. So I went to funny story. I went to a local networking get together in the Sacramento area. Typically speaking, in my line of work, there's not a lot of opportunities to network locally. Usually you go to the bigger conferences for those types of situations. But the American Marketing Association was holding an event. It was really like a luncheon event. It's like $15 for a ticket to go in, listen to some guy talking about AI and how you can utilize it to make your life better. And I'm thinking, well, there's likely going to be a lot of marketing people since this is geared towards marketing. So I'll go there, try and network with some people here and there, and that'll be good. I get there, and it's at this complex that is kind of like an event complex. And they have these signs posted up for, the AI lab. And I'm like, that's not exactly the title that the luncheon was for, but I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So I walked in, and it was, from the American Marketing Association. So I'm like, go down the hallway, and the gal's like, oh, yeah, you just want to go down the hallway to your left, and it's right on the left side. You want to make yourself a name tag. I make myself a name tag, and I'm getting in there. And I sit down, and I'm kind of like looking around. A couple people, start chatting them up. Made one kind of connection. But overall, it felt like I was in a classroom, which I wasn't really expecting. So I'm sitting there now, like questioning a little bit about, okay, this feels off. And the gal like leading the lab comes out, and she's like, well, I hope everybody's had their lunch. I know it's lunchtime, but we got some exciting stuff to talk about. I'm like, it was $15 for lunch. I'm supposed to like get a sandwich or whatever. I'm like, now I definitely feel like something is off. So I it starts, the conference kind of starts up, and they start talking and whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm 99.9% positive now. I'm in the wrong spot. I'm in the wrong place. I leave, I walk out, and of course I feel bad because everybody's seated, and it's like I'm the one guy that stands up right in the middle of her, like saying, welcome everybody, and I'm like out. But I walk out the door, go out into the hallway, and I'm like looking, and then there's another sign pointing down to the hallway right next to the hallway they pushed me down. And turns out that's where the luncheon was. So I go down that hallway. Unfortunately, everybody's already seated there. They've all got their lunch boxes, whatever. And I was able to grab my lunch, but there was no networking opportunity. It was just like, you go sit down, and they're already giving their presentation. I'm like, son of a. So that was a failed opportunity. I would say that because I had to leave, and I had originally planned on getting there early, networking, and then bouncing about 10 minutes before it wrapped up to make it back home, because it was about a 35-minute drive to get back home. And I had a client call with Del Monte Foods, which I wasn't going to pass up. So needless to say, I have one contact I made out of that networking opportunity. I hope to make the best of this. But yeah, and then and shockingly, on Wednesday, one of my coworkers who, he so this is going to be a little sideways story here, but my coworker, he and I had been talking back when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and he had told me how he actually knew Charlie Kirk, and he had Charlie Kirk had come to their house at one point, just because his son knew Charlie Kirk through school campus stuff. And he said, he was a nice guy, never talked politics with us, just, kind of wanted to just come hang out, and be present. Well, my coworker, like out of the blue, his son died. We don't know what happened. It was just quite shocking. And so, it just made work a bit even more chaotic than it already was. So that's why, ultimately my lunch times got a little wonky, where I'm like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to make it. Maybe I can make some gaming. And I think that's just it'll be hit and miss for another couple of weeks for sure. But it does also just make you stop. And obviously I know, all of us are no stranger to things that are unexpected that happen. But it makes you just take stock in life when those things happen. And I do think about you, Mark, all the time, in that regard. And I don't, it's just life is short enough. Right. And so, anyway, it really hit home. It hit home like on back-to-back weeks of just craziness. So not to bring the show down, but obviously, take your moments and make sure that, the loved ones that are with you now know that they're loved. So
yeah, October and obviously February are hard times for us in Christmas, because October would have been Danny's birthday. So 10th of October is, although it's Battlefield Day, it's also a sad day. So yeah. But yeah, it's 2011, man. It's 14 years ago, and it still feels like yesterday. It still hurts so hard, but you just got to carry on, haven't you? You got to carry on for the rest of your family.
No, and that is the reality.
It does get easier,
you do have to carry on,
but not that much easier. But yeah, there's not a day go by where we don't think about him.
Yeah, I don't think the heartache ever changes, but obviously the distractions do. And that's the best way I think about it.
Yeah, there's always something what triggers it, especially at home. Yeah, there's always something you see, you think, oh God, yeah. So, yeah, not easy.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that I've just made everybody miserably sad, I'm sorry. But let's talk about some gaming stuff instead. I think we have a question even. So there we go. Let's.
We have a community question. I made a sound clip for community questions, Greg.
Okay.
Now it's time for community questions.
When you say I made a sample for, a sound effect, I think that's just code word for I changed the voice modulation on my microphone and I recorded something.
When I bought voice mod, that's the first thing I did. We've got a sound clip for it now, haven't we?
That reminds me back when like the early Xbox Live days where you could change your voice.
Yeah.
And it was, I think that was done because they thought kids would want to disguise their voice and not sound so young.
I can do it on the fly as well.
Anyway, I
In a
don't know
world
that
where trailers are real,
I don't know if that came across or anything, but yeah.
I kind of feel like you should keep that. I'm just saying. It was.
There's loads of different ones.
All right. We have a question. Kim, I'm going to make you the steward of the community question reading for this week.
Alrighty. This is from Jaratel Dan. He wants to know, how are we feeling about EA buyout? The ramifications, and could this make EA even worse for gaming?
So yeah, this was foreshadowing to a news story we were going to be covering, but we can talk about it now. So EA is reportedly closing a deal or getting close to closing the deal on a $50 billion private equity buyout, basically that would take the company from being public and go private. Yeah. So, and I don't know if any of you guys have given this much thought. I'm of two minds on this. I think this can go either way.
Yeah. On one side, they don't have to satisfy shareholders and they can concentrate on the product and not worry about targets and all that shit. But on the other side, where are they going to go with the company? As long as they don't fuck up Battlefield 6, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, I mean, but to your point, on the other side of it, you then absolutely have somebody that could put their thumb on it to be like, you know what? No, I want you making this type of game. It's no longer trying to satisfy shareholders. It's about satisfying Prince Yaba Yaba, who bought the company. And I don't know who it is.
It's a Saudi sort of like conglomerate, isn't it? Who's going to be doing. So are they going to instill their values? Because I know there's been a lot of controversy over stuff like when the Qatar football thing was on, you couldn't drink in the stadium. They obviously don't approve of anyone being gay or anything. So, yeah, how's that going to impact the gaming side of things? So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But fingers crossed it's going to be for the best.
Yeah.
Have you seen
have you
seen who's leading?
Assuming it goes through.
Have you seen the person sort of like leading the Saudi part of the business? It's Donald Trump's son-in-law.
Oh, yeah. So, let me just scroll down to the news, because we do have some of the details on this. Yeah. So, EA reportedly in advanced talks over a $50 billion buyout with investors, including Saudi's PIF, which is, I don't even know what the PIF stands for. I'm sure it's Prince something or other. No, it stands for Public Investment Fund.
Right.
So there we go. So that's Saudi Arabia literally wanting to be more of a player in the gaming space.
They're getting into the football side of things big time. Soccer for you guys. So they're buying a lot of players up. I think Cristiano Ronaldo's just signed a multi-million, probably $billion partnership with them.
Yeah, some of the other investors, it is Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and his firm Affinity Partners and Silver Lake Partners that are also teaming up with the Public Investment Fund. I mean, who knows? Who knows how this plays out? I'm inclined to think it might be okay.
Yeah,
just based on the fact that EA themselves haven't necessarily just had this stellar track record over the past 10 years.
No, like some people are saying, well, it can't get any worse, can it? But my biggest worry is they're gonna invest into this company, beef it up, and then either sell it again quickly for a quick buck, or they're gonna split it and like dismantle it. Like some big corporations will buy a business and just completely dismantle it and sell it off. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
I will give Kim and Chris a chance to speak because we have dominated this conversation, Mark. Kim, any thoughts on EA being bought out? Does it give you hope for BioWare?
I mean, I wish they'd had hope for it way back before Veilguard got released, but I mean, and I said that sounds bad because I did
Admitting
like
that
Veilguard,
Veilguard was bad.
but damn it, it could have been so much better than what it was. And you know, I'm a little salty about that, especially after playing Baldur's Gate and seeing what that's like. And it's heartbreaking because I love Dragon Age, and it was just. It was a bad way to end things. I'm just gonna say, but anyway, back on the topic of what this is. Honestly, I didn't know there was a buyout even going. So this is all news to me. So I'm kind of like the rest of you. Hopefully it's a good thing, but again, it could go the other way too. So I guess we'll just wait and see. I mean, that's pretty much all we can do.
No. Mr. Matthew, thoughts on private ownership versus public company?
Well, it's less about private ownership versus public company than it is about none of the people on this list of potential buyers are in the games development business or people who give a crap about games, right? So it's either going to be more microtransactions, more and more microtransactions, or they're going to break the company up into, you're going to have EA Sports and you're going to have EA Battlefield and you're going to have EA whatever they're doing with Mass Effect and Dragon Age these days, and sell it off in bits and pieces, or maybe they do something, turn it around for a profit. But I don't see any upside for gamers in this transaction.
That's
at
pretty
best
fair.
we won't notice it.
Yeah, that is pretty fair. Part of me wonders if they go kind of that Sony route that Sony was doing for the past 5 years, whatever, which was heavy investment in like trying to be live service only and just focus in on live service games. I could see that happen, which would be a travesty if that does happen. Or they shoehorn in a campaign onto Battlefield. Oh, they've already done that. Never mind.
But you say that, but Battlefield always had a campaign before. So, I mean, what was it last
Not
year
always,
or
Kim. Not always. The past couple have not had campaigns.
Okay, yes, the past couple, but up until that point, they've pretty much all had campaigns. So this isn't a new thing for them. So
I know. It was me just having a little poking fun.
You were going a bit Skypey, but not Skypey. I hope it was Chris and Kim seemed okay, so I had a bit of a panic there.
It was your internet, Mark. It was your internet.
Yeah. Did Greg go Skype a few guys as well?
Uh-huh.
He did indeed.
Yeah.
I bet Greg's got a lag switch and he's just playing with it on purpose just to make us really sweat.
All right. Great question. Thank you for that, Gerald Roldan.
By the way,
I guess.
Did you know Dan's 60-year-old? Sorry, Dan.
Fitting.
Poor Dan.
Geritol. Dan. Okay. We don't have to worry about the free games that we get for free because it is the end of month. We don't have the new list technically yet.
Not all of them, anyway.
Yeah. But let's talk about what we actually have been playing. I'm going to start with Mark.
Right. Oh, I was expecting the Tokyo Game Show. I think. Hang on, let me scroll back up. Oh yeah, we skipped all that to the news, didn't we? So,
Yeah.
I have been playing some Modern Warfare 3 campaign. So I finished 2 up recently.
Okay.
And I've been playing the campaign on Modern Warfare 3. I'm halfway through. I think I'm on mission 7 or 8, maybe 8. Yeah, so far so good. There's just been one mission I've not liked so far. And it's not that. It's a bad mission as such, it's just a game mechanic. So you play as Laswell and you have to infiltrate this army base by walking around and trying to blend in. But if you just walk a fraction too fast or a fraction in the wrong place at the wrong time, you get spotted and all hell breaks loose. And you have to follow this officer into this room, take him out and another guard in there, get his key card and get into a building. Before all hell breaks loose. But yeah, just that first initial bit was so frustrating. It took me about 4 or 5 attempts. But yeah, very frustrating. But apart from that, I'm liking it. It's good for stories, good. It carries straight on after this second game. But this time, obviously, Makarov's involved because he was introduced right at the end of 2. So yeah, Makarov's not a nice person.
Reintroduced.
Yes,
The I will admit that it threw me a bit for a loop when I started this campaign. The video showing is the opening mission.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of the original Modern Warfare 2 from 2011.
Yeah.
When you go into the gulag to rescue Price.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking, wait, who are we rescuing? Because there wasn't anybody in the gulag. So I was a little bit thrown for a loop there in that first mission.
They did it with Modern Warfare 2, didn't they? So on the original Modern Warfare 2, they had the wet work mission on the ship, and they had a similar mission on the new Modern Warfare 2, but this time with shipping containers slid about and everything. So yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, that one drove me.
Yeah,
that one drove me insane.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of similarities, but we're in similarities. But yeah, it's good. I've just finished a mission where you play as Farah and you have to recover some mobile phones from a plane crash. So that was quite good. Yeah, getting there.
Yeah. I remember liking the Modern Warfare 3 campaign far more than I think the critics did.
Right.
So if I remember correctly, this got panned a little bit, and people are like, "Oh, they try to reuse a lot," and they, it didn't feel necessarily like a full-fledged campaign because it is fairly short, comparatively speaking, to other Modern Warfare game campaigns, which are of their nature usually fairly short on top of it. But yeah, I liked it.
Graphically, it's amazing. The graphics are superb.
Yeah.
Sound design's really good. Voice acting's top notch. I love the voice characters for Soap and Price and Ghost and that. So yeah, really, really good. But yeah, apart from that, the only other game I've played, I did a little bit late Friday night. I missed out on the normal Friday, Fatal Friday game session, but I saw Jay and Rob on PUBG. It was about 11 o'clock at night. So I jumped on the one round of PUBG, which we did okay. We got a chicken dinner as well. But I was in casual mode.
I'd say that's doing more than okay for the record.
Yeah. Well, it was casual mode, so there was some bots and that. But we did, after that, did you know there's a zombie mode in this?
I did not.
Yeah. It's like a survival zombie mode. And there's I think there's, I don't know if there's 6 or 8 different mission areas. And you go through these little stages, a bit like Left 4 Dead type thing. So we've been doing some of them. That's really fun, actually. You have to pick up crafting materials to upgrade your guns at workstations scattered between the levels, and also craft like soup. So you pick up tomatoes and cabbages and stuff and water, and you craft soup to replenish your health and your hunger stamina bar thing. But yeah, it's quite interesting. It's good. There's quite a variety of zombies now. They keep updating it. It was very basic when it first launched. But there's quite a lot of zombie enemies now. And right at the end, to open the final door, there's a massive sort of like boss we have to fight. Yeah, it's really good.
Did Mark go quiet there, or was it just me?
No, Mark went quiet there.
Did I?
Yeah. Okay.
You're back. You're back. You just missed like 2 or 3 words.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be Discord that because the stream seems fine.
I thought you were just messing with us.
Yeah. No. I'm like, wait. What?
Yeah. I'm sure Discord can't handle the streaming right well. Because I know you have to pay that stupid. No, you have to get the higher quality streaming. You have to pay the nitro and get the boosts and everything, and it ain't cheap. So yeah, I think we might have to look at alternatives.
So question.
Yes.
On PUBG Zombies.
Yeah.
What is the end goal? Because in normal PUBG, the end goal is to be the last man standing in the circle, right?
Right.
So are you extracting yourself?
Yeah. So the goal is to survive, get to the end, to the exit, and survive. Like I say, there's about 3 or 4 different safe zones scattered between the level where you've got crafting stations. But yeah, you have to survive and get out of there.
All right. Might be worth checking out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as good as Helldivers 2, but I'm just saying.
No.
All right. Kim, anything you want to talk about? There's nothing really highlighted here, so I'm not sure where you are in your.
Well, last week we talked about how if you don't let Astarion bite you, will he still have his bite ability?
I never checked that.
And well, I checked it this morning, and yes, he still does. So even though I didn't let him bite me, he can still bite other people. So there you go.
Okay.
Other than that, because I didn't really get to play much of that, and then Friday I missed because, as earlier stated in my story time, I was fucking exhausted. So sorry about that. But I did play some Helldivers 2 this weekend, and that was fun. I finally met the Illuminate. Was it the Illuminate? And those fuckers are hard. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I don't like those guys.
Even on like what was it? We were on 2. I mean, even on 1, they're difficult. So because me and Boomer were just like, oh yeah, we'll knock it down on 2, and we'll go and run and do our thing. Holy crap! And that Stingray freaking thing, that thing killed me more than anything. And I had a hell of a time figuring out anything that would take it down. So, and I knew it could be done because when Sarah played with us, she was knocking them things out of the sky. So,
All right. With this revelation, I feel like it's safe for me to come forward. I told Lewis I was not going to talk about this, but now that Kim has said this, I will come forward and come clean. Tuesday evening, or no, it was Thursday evening. I'm mixing my days up. But either way, it was late night. I threw on, going for a late night session of Helldivers, and Lewis jumps on. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, let's, we're looking at our major orders. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go to this area, and we'll just do easy.
All right.
We'll get in an easy session. Holy crap. We failed back-to-back missions. Could not, and it was just maddening. And it was the Stingray. And it was partially also because we didn't have anti-tank or anything kind of like ballistic missile type weapon for either one of us, which really would have helped, I think, in that situation. But even the ballistic missile, it's not lock on as far as I know.
Right.
So you kind of have to aim and judge a little bit of trajectory. So also, for whatever reason, our sentry guns were not picking up the Stingray, which I've seen post that the sentry gun will take out a Stingray.
Right.
But maybe it's the Gatling gun, not the machine gun. Is there a difference? I've actually, this is a question I have now for the group. I'm just random with my thoughts here. Mr. Matthew, you probably know this, being that you are literally the Helldiver aficionado group. What is the difference between the machine gun and the Gatling gun other than the cooldown time?
I think I look at the specific stats, but the Gatling gun has a higher rate of fire.
Yeah, it'll be rounds per minute, won't it? Yeah.
And it also has higher armor penetration.
Okay.
Whereas, the machine gun has lower rate of fire, lower armor penetration. And so I think the Gatling gun can take out armored enemies where the heavy armored enemies, where the machine gun turret can only do medium armored enemies.
Okay.
I mean, not to be snarky, but the difference is one of them's a Gatling gun, the other one's a machine gun. It's a different thing.
There's also an autocannon turret as well.
And there is an autocannon turret. So I don't know which of the turrets will take out the Stingray. I've been bringing it down with the laser cannon, the shoulder fired laser cannon. I've recently been doing a bit of a meme loadout with the squids, which is oops all lasers. So I use the laser guard dog, which I know I give Kim a hard time when she brings the laser guard dog, but against the squids, it's actually pretty good. So the laser guard dog plus the scythe primary, which is a laser rifle, a Wazer rifle, and then the I'm forgetting the name of it, but you can get a laser pistol as well. And so I just take all the lasers and the orbital laser, just all lasers, and that seems to work pretty well against the squids. Yeah,
the big blue, the big ships with the blue shields on, the thermite grenades can take them down as well.
Yes.
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 I learned that
Now-
recently.
Now, Chris, you, myself, and Sarah, we also had a session, a few sessions. And if I remember correctly, the start of it kind of went something like this. What level of difficulty you guys want to go with? Well, maybe medium, 5 or 6. I think we settled on 5.
I think we settled on 5.
And that did not go well.
I mean, we won.
Well, I thought we failed the first time. I thought we got one of the failed to extracts. I think we were decimated.
Well, there's a difference between failed and failed to extract, right? So you can complete the objectives and fail to extract. Yeah, you still get your medals.
Completed one objective.
I don't know. I know it was not a walk in the park. Oh, that's for sure.
No, it was chaos for a bit. And in fact, it all fell on my shoulders trying to survive for like a minute.
Yes.
And that didn't go well.
That's right. Yeah. Because we were out of reinforcements. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Just run, Greg. Just run. I'm trying.
Yeah, until your stamina runs low, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if your stamina runs low, you can just hit a stim. A stim will plus up your stamina and as long as the stim is active, which is 3 or 4 seconds, your stamina will not deplete. So you can, like, sometimes if I've got to run a long way, I'll run until my stamina is depleted, hit a stim, and then keep running.
Okay.
I
think I was out of stims as well, though. It was a bad situation.
That also happens. That also happens. But yeah, with I don't like playing against the Illuminate, the squids.
Where does a squid nickname come from? Is that an official name, or is that something the community's give him?
That's what the community calls it.
So they don't even look like squids, do they?
No, they're just like zombies.
They don't.
No.
It's like they don't.
Is it because they got blue ink?
So the vote lists are just reanimated dead humans.
Yeah.
I think they're called the squids because inside their armored suits they're all tentacly.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe an ode to was it Edge of Tomorrow?
Could be
Because they were the squids. We were fighting the squids in that movie.
Surprisingly good movie. I didn't expect that one to be good.
I love that movie. Yes. Also agree. Surprisingly good.
But yeah, with the Illuminate, you typically want to take high rate of fire or continuous fire, like laser weapons or the machine guns are good. They don't have a lot of heavy armor baddies, so as long as you have medium armor pen, you're usually good to go. I don't enjoy the Illuminate as a faction. I'm hoping the next major order takes us back to the bot front. I much prefer the bot front.
And bots are the insecticides, insecticide, the insects. What is the? So I'm trying to remember the game. Was it? No. Basically, it was a side-scrolling game. At the very end of it, there was just like a bunch of people all stuck into it, and they were like arms and legs kind of hanging out of it.
Yeah,
you know the game I'm talking
about. The one
about.
after Limbo.
Yes.
Yeah. Was it called? Oh, can't remember. Was it Behind?
Either way, that final boss, there are like a heavy monster in the squids that looks like that to me. Inside, there you go, and it's just like a bunch of the zombie dudes just lumped all together.
But all the arms.
Spoilers for Inside.
Yeah,
I didn't like that guy either.
No, the first time I saw that thing, and I was just like, little mess in the pants. I was just like, holy crap! It just ran right at me, and I was like, son of a.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, Helldivers 2, I guess it continues to dominate for most of us. That's all I played this past week, so I didn't get anything else in. Mr. Matthew, did you want to talk about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies before we move on?
I don't have a whole lot to say about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies other than you should be playing it if you're not. It's great fun. My name is Jeff, and I did get in a couple of rounds, and we finished up the Act 2 mission. So, it has I think it goes up to Act 5. And so we finished up Act 2. And I managed to get a round in right before the show. It's just a really well done little, jump in, jump out, smash some zombies, kind of have fun mode. In the famous words of Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk some news and Metacritic Madness quiz.
Here is the fucking news.
All right. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the news first, and then we'll come to the quiz. Sound because we already covered one of the news stories.
Yeah.
So, in other news outside of EA being greedy bastards, Tokyo Game Show happened, which kind of snuck up on me. I literally thought it had already happened, but it just happened. And so there's just some key announcements I thought we would go through. I don't think some of these are really necessarily earth-shattering announcements. Forza Horizon 6, which we all knew was coming at some point, was officially announced. They didn't really give any gameplay or any. Yeah, it was just kind of like an announcement of an announcement type of trailer, so to speak.
And it's set in Japan.
It is set in Japan. That is the big reveal. The other interesting aspect of this, and this is something that I'm kind of curious to see if this is the new Xbox playbook, which is they did clarify that even though this will be coming to the PlayStation 5, it will not be day and date. That it will have a planned release for the Xbox and PC next year, and then they have not confirmed when the PlayStation 5 version will come out. So it'll be first on Xbox and PC, and so this feels like Microsoft's kind of exclusivity play, if you will. It's you're going to get these games. We're going to tell you you're going to get them, but if you want to play them sooner, you can play in our ecosystem faster. So whether that strategy works or not in the long run, I don't know. But it was an interesting little tidbit that came out. Call of Duty Black Ops 7, new multiplayer maps inspired by Japan were revealed. So I mean, I don't. Okay. Those kind of announcements for me never just really like. I'm like, eh. Gungrave Gore Blood Heat. It's a full remake of the 2022 action game. Was announced, showcasing improvement to visuals and gameplay mechanics. Did any of you guys play Gungrave?
Mm-mm.
I think Robin championed that game, if I remember correctly. I know it kind of hit within the community for certain people. Anyway, 007 First Light, new character Dr. Sanilia Tan, played by Gemma Chan, was introduced for the upcoming Bond game. I did not see that announcement trailer. I don't know that Okay. I'm excited for the Bond game. Are any of you guys excited for it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, because it's got all the Hitman game mechanic vibes, hasn't it? It looks good. It's got a good pedigree. So.
It's Hitman with James Bond. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
In Gemma
I feel
Chan.
like the rest of the group.
Gemma
Yes.
Chan, can you?
You can, yes. I feel like the other two people in this podcast need to have a little more enthusiasm for James Bond. A little shocked. Maybe they'll have excitement for this. Ninja Gaiden 4.
Not excited about Ninja Gaiden 4.
No.
I'm worried about James Bond because movie tie-in or licensed games just generally suck.
So I agree with you on one hand. And that is, I'll say pre-2010, you had movie tie-in games that often were literally tied to coming out. And so they often were very rushed projects. The developers had less than 3 years to make those games. Typically speaking, they only had 2 years at best to make the game, push it out in time for the movie's release, and they went hand in hand. I feel like that trend has changed. And I feel like a lot of these movie tie-in games are really more IP tie-in. So Spider-Man's a great example. The Spider-Man games don't really, they're not focused on the movie itself, but they're using the IP. They're very well done. A lot of the Marvel games that have been coming out of late also not tied to a specific movie, but rather just the IP, and they're allowing the developers to really make these games better. We did get a Wolverine trailer looks fantastic.
Mm.
So, maybe you should, up your enthusiasm there, Mr. Matthew. 007.
I'll wait and see.
James
I'll
Bond.
wait and see.
Okay. Apparently you like your stirred, not shaken.
You shouldn't
anyway, so back
shake
to
your martinis. It will bruise your gin.
your chin or your gin? No.
Both?
Ninja Gaiden 4, the game received a deep dive into its difficulty settings, promising a challenging experience for players. Look, Ninja Gaiden games have always been challenging. I don't need it to be more challenging. I need it to be less challenging. And that is why I'm not excited for Ninja Gaiden 4 as well.
Didn't we already have a Ninja Gaiden 4?
No. I don't think so.
All right. I could have sworn there was one.
I think it was
a Ninja Gaiden 4.
Then there was Ninja Gaiden
Maybe.
Black. There was a couple like...
Oh, I'm thinking of Ninja Gaiden Black. Okay.
Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, Capcom announced that both games will be available on Xbox starting November 14th. I never got into the Monster Hunter games. Any of you guys ever had an affinity for a Monster Hunter game?
So
No, I tried.
one of the Monster Hunters, I think it came to PS Plus or Xbox quite a while ago, and I tried it. I didn't like it at all. I think it'd be better if you were co-op, but as a solo game. And because it was like this wooden ship in the middle of this desert where you had to go and craft all your stuff and talk to a lot of people. And when you did try Battle of Monster, it was rock hard. I don't know. I didn't get on with it.
I feel like you would like a game that has desert in it.
Yeah, and big worms.
There we go. Back to the worms. Double Dragon Revive. A revival of the classic beat-em-up game is set to launch in October of this year, October 23rd to be precise, and will feature various modes and missions. And then finally, Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake. The horror classic game is being remade with updated graphics and sound, scheduled for early 2026. So that's a total Chris game. He will be all over that. I guarantee it. Horror games up your alley, right? Yeah. So Tokyo Game Show was kind of like, There really wasn't a lot of excitement out of the Tokyo Game Show. The Rogue Xbox Ally officially got its pricing. So there's been a lot of speculation. I think a lot of people already kind of knew what it was going to be, but it wasn't official. It is now official. So if you are indeed going to take a dip and try and get a Rogue Xbox Ally, the base model will cost you $599.99 in the US or £499 sterling. The premium edition, the Rogue Xbox Ally X, will cost you $999.99 or 799 British pounds sterling. Mark, have you put your pre-order in?
No. No, it's a bit too pricey for me. Well, it might have been a different story if I hadn't recently bought a Steam Deck, which I don't really get the value from. I haven't used it as much as I thought I would. So buying that as well would be pointless for me. I've got the PC up here and I've got the Steam Deck, so I'm all my bases are covered for what I want it to do, gaming wise. Maybe when the Steam Deck gets a bit old and long in the tooth and there's another revision of a ROG Ally X, I might consider it then. But yeah, it's a lot of money for a little handheld. It's powerful, don't get me wrong. It's good. The specs are awesome compared to the Steam Deck, but you can get a decent PC for that as well. Well, half decent PC.
No. I'm with you there. There's a part of me that really kind of wants to buy in on this because I do like the way it's laid out in terms of accessibility to different stores. But it's hard to justify the price, especially because I also have a Steam Deck that I get limited use out of as well. This is an old problem, I think. As we get older, we can't use our Steam Deck as often as we would like. So,
yeah.
Even when the worst part is I got it because I was like, oh, I'm going to travel. I don't travel nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And even when I did travel with it, half the time I was too tired. I fall asleep on planes, so that was a no-go. It just it's like falling out of my lap onto the floor if I'm trying. So then it's like, okay, I get to the hotel room. I'm too tired. Steam Deck just stayed in the case half the time. If it maybe a half hour here and there. The yawning doesn't help, Mr. Matthew. I'm making me.
You're
tired
really
now.
selling it, Greg. You're really selling it.
I think I use my Steam Deck more than Greg does. So
I think you definitely get more use out of your Steam Deck. Kim, are you tempted to give up
I'm
your
not gonna
Steam
lie.
Deck for a Rogue Ally?
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I want to see some reviews first to see.
Yeah.
Because I am mostly an Xbox player, mind you. But this also has access to my my Steam and all that stuff too. So yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah,
and if
that's
I got
the attraction.
One,
Well, it's Windows based, so it runs everything, all the launches, doesn't it? Without any problems.
Right.
Where on with Steam
Right.
Deck, you have to install separate things to run the launches because it's Linux based.
yeah.
But yeah, this one runs everything, so that's the advantage of it.
The hoops I had to jump through on the Steam Deck to get certain things on there, especially early on. I think since then there's been some things that are making it a lot easier, but dear Lord, it was like you had to have a separate keyboard and it was just like, this is nonsense.
I got mine early this year, and I think because I got mine later, a lot of that stuff's been ironed out. Like even putting Xbox on it, Kim put me onto the app you can get on Steam called Xbox Play, and it works seamlessly. Whereas you guys have to install this other stuff and do all this background stuff. On
hard
the desktop
coding
mode.
and crap. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but
and then you'd have people like Hardly Dan, be like, "Oh, it's easy."
Yeah, but he gets off on the tinkering side of it, doesn't he? He likes the tinkering side of it rather than playing the game. So it's each to their own. But yeah, so like for Epic Game Store, you have to have this thing called Proton Launcher, which is like a Windows shell for Linux. But yeah, Rogue Ally X, it'll just run it natively. So
So yeah, that's definitely an appeal. So, but if I do that, I'm definitely gonna have to sell my Steam Deck, in order to pay for it, and then I'd have to figure out if I want the, if I want the big fancy $1,000 one, or do I want, am I okay with the slightly cheaper one? So
if you bought the base one, I think you'll forever regret not getting the better one.
Right.
Forever regret feels like a
you will get buyer's remorse for not buying the better model. I think. From our standpoint as gamers, for your average Joe, that might not be so much of an issue. But yeah, I think for us personally, knowing you guys, I think you'd regret not getting the better one.
Yeah, I would need to look at the specs.
Get one as well out of us four.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got the lower end version of the Steam Deck. I do not regret that at all. I still think there was no real need to get the bigger end.
The only difference was the OLED screen and a bigger internal memory capacity, but you can put an SD card in anyway. So the Steam Deck's a different kettle of fish. This, the ROG Ally and the Ally X, there's different processors in them, so there's a massive speed differential. Whereas the Steam Deck, it's the same processor no matter what model you got. It's just a different screen type, LCD or OLED. There's a big difference with the ROG one. If you get the cheap
my Steam Deck.
Yeah.
All right. It's a sad day. It's a sad day to make this announcement because one of the best named CEOs ever, or COO, excuse me. Maybe it was the CEO, but either way, Doug Bowser of Nintendo of America is stepping down. Bowser officially has been defeated. He is retiring. He will retire December 31st, 2025. And at which point he will be replaced by Devin Pritchard. And if you don't know who Devin Pritchard is, I don't blame you. I did not know who Devin Pritchard was either. But she currently is a Nintendo of America Executive Vice President of Revenue, Marketing, and Consumer Experience. She joined Nintendo 19 years ago and is described by the company as a long-standing member of the North of America leadership team. So in his wake, he will be replaced by her, and then Satoru Bata, the former Nintendo of Europe president and current managing executive officer, corporate director, and member of the board of NCL, the Nintendo's Japanese arm, will join Nintendo of America as its CEO. So it looks like it's taking two people to replace Mr. Bowser. But Doug Bowser, of course, famously replaced Reggie Fils-Aimé. And I think a lot of people speculated at the time, could he do as good a job as Reggie did? And I think the answer is yes. I think he's carried the mantle fairly well for Nintendo since the
I don't think
Reggie's
he was
departure.
as publicly out there as Reggie, though. Reggie is...
No.
Mind you, E3 gets sort of like going digital. That didn't help, did it?
No, I would agree with you. Though he did have a much better name than Reggie Fils-Aimé. I mean, Doug Bowser, come on. Really? We did all speculate it would have been far better though if they had found a replacement that was named Mario or Luigi. Just saying.
Or Peach.
Or Peach. Peach would have been, that's unique.
Star Fox.
Speaking of unique,
What?
Christopher Matthew, do we have a quiz?
We do. We do, in fact, have a
ready?
quiz. I thought you were saying that I was unique. I was about to be touched, but no, you just want a quiz. That's fine.
You are
Fine.
touched, but we
Fine.
don't talk about that.
Fine. Get away from the windows. Oh, right. We're back again with a mystery themed quiz this week. We'll see if you can all connect the dots that go in my strange little brain with our 4 games. Our first game is The Saboteur from 2009.
I love
The
this game.
And we're
Saboteur.
looking at the Xbox 360 release. See if anybody's left in the chat to play along. Maybe Boomer will save us. Welcome back from the Fursona fitting, Greg. You get to go first this week.
Okay. The Saboteur, which I believe it was a French resistance game.
That's it. But you were an
yeah.
Irishman.
Let's see. Saboteur. So, as my memory serves, received some pretty decent reviews, did not fare well on the revenue side of things. Say 82.
Greg says 82. I typed Mark's name second. So, Mark, you get to go second this week.
By the way, Boomer came in with a strong 75.
75.
No Price is Right action with Boomer. I appreciate that.
I loved this game. I can still remember a lot of aspects about this game, even though it was a long time ago since I played this. One of the achievements, this is when I was, like Chris, I was a bit of an achievement whore back then, was climbing the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I remember doing that. And great game. It had a bit of the old Formula One racing with a single-seater open car thing. And you're fighting a lot of Nazis. So, yeah, I remember it well. But like Greg says, I don't think the critics liked it as much as the gamers did. But having said that, I'm going to go 78. Still think it did well.
Mark says 78, which gives the last word to Kim. No horses in this one, Kim.
No horses.
No horses.
No. But I do know this one kind of has a cult following, too, because a lot of people will talk about it to this day, that they really enjoyed it. So
I just like the name.
Nothing.
Saboteur.
yeah, there you go. I'll say 80.
Kim says 80. Everyone pretty generous. It was 73. So Boomer takes the lead. Boomer takes a
knew the
commanding
critics
lead
weren't
in
as
round 1.
enamored as the gamers. I know the gamers thought more highly of it.
Yes.
I thought it did a little, well, I mean, obviously it didn't. But I thought that the Metacritic was a little higher, but it still didn't fare well. Even though it I think, had a cult following of a certain amount of gamers, it just missed the mark sales-wise as well.
That is entirely possible.
Who knows?
But as of today, 73.
Yeah, 73.
And up for round 2 is The Simpsons Game 2007. And we're going to look at the PlayStation 3 release of the 2007 The Simpsons Game. And Mark got second word in the first round, so Mark is up first in the second round.
Ooh, I've not really played this. I've no idea. I've no clue about how it was received as well. I'm just going to have to take a complete stab in the dark and just going to go 3/4 middle ground, 3/4. Oxymoron there. I'm going to say 75.
Mark says 75. All right. Kim, what do you think?
I mean, I remember playing Simpsons Hit and Run and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Hit and Run was awesome.
Right?
Mm.
But I don't remember this one either. So, Well, I'll give it an 80.
Kim being consistent comes in with an 80. Boomer also with an 80. Just a guess. Which gives the last word to Greg.
Yeah, I think I'm with everybody here. More perplexing to me, though, with the revelation of the game is The Simpsons, this second game. I'm in my head just spinning right now, trying to figure out what the hell the theme is for games.
Right.
Saboteur, The Simpsons. I'm gonna price this right, Mark, with 74.
All right. Well, you prices rode him in the right direction. It was 71. Which brings Greg within 1 point of Boomer. So going into round 3, still anybody? Wait. Yeah, still anybody's contest.
As it should be.
There we go. All right. Carrying on. If you had trouble figuring out the theme after that one, I'm going to throw you another curveball. The next game is Unravel from 2016, and we're looking at the PC release. So this is a side-scrolling platformer where you kind of play a ball of yarn.
Yeah.
I like this game.
Yarny.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a good game.
Well, let's see if Kim gets the first guess. So let's see if Kim liked it enough to know what the critics thought of it.
Probably not, but I did enjoy it. And there's a second one that I still need to play through. So, I don't know. I'll give it an 85.
Kim's going to give it an 85. All right, which brings us back around to Greg.
Yarny. The EA game. It was back when we kind of had this big indie push. But this was, I'm trying to remember if EA actually developed this, if it was done by an internal studio within EA, or if this was one of their publishing deals where they kind of went out there and signed a bunch of indie developers. I think that was the case. I think it was an indie developer they signed under the
guy
EA
on
flag.
stage at E3. I remember the guy on stage, yeah.
Yeah. I think this was fairly favorable. I'm going to say 88.
Greg says 88. And so the last word in round 3 goes to Mark.
So I think this was well received by the gamers as well, but you can't always go by like the critics can be completely off, can't they? So I'm gonna go 82.
Mark's gonna go 82. Mark with the closest answer that round, it was 81. So going into the last round, Mark has the lead, trailed closely by Boomer, and then just a little bit farther behind, Kim and Greg, separated by 1 point. So everybody's within. It's a spread is 10 points from first to last, so still anybody's game.
Okay.
Here we go. Final round is our Nintendo entry of the week, and it is. Let me jump over to the chat. Sea of Solitude. I can't spell. Sea of Solitude, Director's Cut, and that's important. Director's Cut. And this was on the.
I don't know any of them.
Director's Cut, which was on the Switch. The reason the Director's Cut is important is because the other one didn't come out on the Switch. So here we go. We're back around to Greg going first. Sea of Solitude, the director's cut, 2021 on the Switch.
I didn't remember. I know the name. I visually I can't pull up what it was in my head. I'm gonna just say a complete guess. 80.
Greg's complete guess is 80. A lot of 80s today. I mean, it's a safe number. Not a lot of games lower than 50. So yeah. All right. Mark?
I'm going to go 75 again.
Mark is going to say 75 again. And Boomer says 75. So closing out this week's quiz with the last answer is Kim.
I'd like to point out is Boomer's 75 again as well.
Again.
Again. Yep.
As well.
84.
Kim is going to say 84. And I keep typing in the chat instead of typing on my score sheet. Kim, you went the wrong way. The answer was 69 on this one, so not very well received.
Oh wow!
And the hint was that it was a port to the Switch, which I thought would have hinted that it would be poorly received, because generally those, when you take something that was developed Xbox PS3 or Xbox PlayStation PC and port it over to the Switch. Anyway,
fun fact: when you assume things with this group, typically you're setting yourself up to be disappointed.
Yeah, I know. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. I know. Anyway, let's see how we do on this week's mystery theme, and we're gonna go backwards. So, Kim, I'll give you the first crack at this week's mystery theme.
I'm gonna go. They were cartoonish, although that doesn't really fit with Unravel, but maybe so.
I feel like Saboteur was fairly not cartoonish.
I didn't
want to say anything, let Kim
have the black and white segments.
I mean, from what I didn't play the Saboteur, so I'm gonna say that right off the bat. But I felt like it was more like a comic, sort of. But like I said, I only saw like trailers and shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, newsflash, not cartoony, for the record.
Yeah, not so much. All right.
But hey, who knows? This is the twisted mind of Christopher Matthew.
This is the twisted mind of Christopher Matthew. Mark, any guesses on the mystery theme? Now that we've eliminated cartoons,
I only know 2 games out of M4, so I only know the Saboteur and Unravel. I don't really know much about the other 2. Obviously, Simpsons is based on them characters, but the only thing I can think of is I know in Unravel you climbed a lot, and I know in Saboteur you climbed the Eiffel Tower. I can't see that being the link. Oh god, yeah, climbing. I don't know. Stab in the dark, climbing.
Let's see what the judges say on that one. That was not the link that I was going for, but let me see.
Think it would be. It was a total.
Let me see if there's climbing in the Simpsons game.
I don't think there's climbing. There might be some light platforming, but
yeah. Character's abilities. Well, according to the AI search, Bart does have a wall climb ability, although not a lot of climbing in Sea of Solitude. As you're in a boat. All right, so not climbing. So that gives the final word to Greg to see if he can piece it together. I think he's got it.
Yeah, you would totally be wrong. So like when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, Saboteur, Sea of Solitude, Simpsons, but you threw me for a loop with Unraveled, because my thinking at that point after the first 2 games was S is the link.
More
and
different.
Then Unraveled happens, and it's like, nope, there's not even a freaking S in any of the title. So,
nope.
Yeah. Did they all come out in the same year?
They did not. No. 2007, 2009, 2016, and 2021.
Conversation. So yeah, I'm at a loss. I don't know.
I thought you had it when you pointed out that Unravel was published by EA. I thought, oh man, he's figured it out. So everyone's familiar with the big EA properties, right? Your Battlefront and your Battlefield,
Yeah, they
and
are. Yeah,
all your sports games. But these are all kind of the ones that people don't realize that EA put out. You have to remember that I have undiagnosed ADHD. So since we're talking about EA this week, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to do an EA themed quiz. So there you
in
go.
fairness, I did not recall the Saboteur is actually published by EA. I thought it was an indie, self-published kind of,
Yeah, it
like
was
a Devolver kind of publisher game.
It was not developed by EA, but I don't think any of these games were actually developed by EA. They were all
that is correct.
Published by EA. Yeah.
When you listened
There you
back
go.
to last week's, Greg, did you guess the seasons link? I thought that was very clever. And like Chris has said with his ADHD, because it was the first day of autumn that day as well, he's a clever guy, isn't he? We're going to have to try.
See, you know, I don't think, Mr. Matthew,
next week.
I don't think you have ADHD. And have you been formally diagnosed with ADHD?
I have not been formally diagnosed.
see.
No.
Yeah.
But
I just
a lot of
assume
ADHD tendencies.
this is like next level evil mastermind shit. That's where this is.
Yep. How
Perhaps.
can I stump
Perhaps.
them this week? You know.
Yeah.
Well, I can't make it too obvious, or you'll all figure it out.
No, it's fair. I mean,
So
Next
I'll,
week we need to take careful note of what's in the news, and then see if there's a link to the Metacritic quiz.
There you go.
Well
there you
played.
go. Although we did have the one that was all games that were better reviewed than the movies they were based on. That one was
Yep.
pretty
Yeah.
random.
Yeah. But still very clever.
It was a lot of fun. Well, thanks for playing along. This week's winner is Mr. Mark.
Yeah.
Trailed by 2 points by Boomer, and about 15 points behind is Greg and Kim. So come back next week, see how I can stump my co-hosts on a mystery theme and a bunch of games that none of us have ever played in next week's version of Metacritic Madness.
See a triumphant return next week for Kim and I. We will turn the ship around.
We have to.
Speaking of games,
Mhm.
Kim, we've got some new releases to talk about.
We do. We have a few. So, without further ado, we will get to that list. We have Bounce Masters, which makes me cackle because all I can picture is like a bunch of chicks on trampolines for some odd reason. I don't know why. You remember like the 80s like game shows, like you had American Gladiator and that's and for some odd reason that's what I'm picturing when I say Bounce Masters. I don't know why. But anyway, Bounce Masters will be out for PC on September 29th. Unyielder for the
I
PC
think, by the way,
on the 29th.
bounce houses.
Yeah, I was thinking
Okay.
bounce houses.
Fair point. Alrighty. Lego Party, pretty much out for everything. See Corazon, I listen to ideas. It'll be out September 30th. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, also out for everything on September 30th. Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. Is that a little Dungeons and Dragons going on there or what? Also out for pretty much everything except the Switch 2 on September 30th. Ghost of Yotai for the PS5. That's a big one I know a lot of people are looking forward to. It'll be out October 2nd. Gigasword for the PC on October 2nd as well. Speaking of Mario and Nintendo, Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 for the Switch out on October 2nd. Borderlands 4 for the Switch 2 on the 3rd. Digimon Story Time Stranger for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on October 3rd as well. And those are your new releases this week.
Okay.
So, Bounce Masters is a phone game which has been ported to PC. And remember the car racing game Fallout, and it had the like mini games where one of them where you have to sort of like send your little guy ragdolling as far as you can. It's that sort of thing. You have to bounce as far as you can.
Okay.
Right.
It looks cute, but it's a phone game. It's probably going to be mega cheap on Steam. Hopefully, I don't know.
You would think it would be.
Yeah.
Ghost of Yotai. Mark, is that even on your radar?
What's that? Ghost of Yotai.
Ghost of Yotai?
I still haven't finished Ghost of Tsushima, and that's really good as well. So yeah, I really need to give my consoles a bit of love I actually fired up the consoles yesterday for the first time in ages and updated them all. And
Wow.
my nephew James on the PlayStation 5, because I game share with him like I do with Xbox with Greg, he's bought Dying Light the Beast, and that game looks awesome. I've downloaded that. But it's just getting time to play him, because I went halves with him on Jedi Survivor 18 months ago. I still haven't fucking played it. Yeah, I've got so many games on. Like I say, after Christmas, I need to go on to 3 days a week. But yeah,
we always say that. We always
Ghost
say,
of
"Oh, I'm not
Yoti,
going to buy anything new."
Yeah, Ghost of Yoti. I'll probably play that when it comes to PS Plus, probably.
Okay,
Because most of the games
fair
I
enough.
bought are now fucking free.
Yeah, true.
Kim syndrome,
True,
isn't
true,
it?
true.
We buy a game and it
Stop
comes free.
buying games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or just buy the
Same
games that
time.
I want. So, I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
hard to. You know what? One of my favorite things to do during the podcast, by the way, is watching Chris's expressions.
Yeah.
Because when Mike, so Mark's mic has cut out a couple different times, and Chris does like a left-right dart with his eyeballs. It's pretty funny. It's like you just know, and it was like a quick cutout, and he's like, "What?" And so yeah, I just cue in on you. This way, I like it. Was it me? Nope, he heard it too. Kim is just stoic.
Teamwork.
Nothing phases Kim. Anyway,
Well, you probably
all
notice,
right.
like every time one of you start like glitching a little bit, you see me instantly look down and make sure I won't get in drop
Yes.
frames and
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, well, that's when I'm hitting my lag switch.
yeah.
We do have some play dates coming up. We've been Tuesdays and Thursdays ish. Well, fairly consistently though. We've been hell diving on Tuesdays, kind of on Thursdays as well. It's meant to be just a multiplayer community session right around 8:30 in the UK, 3:30 on the East Coast, 12:30 where it really matters, and 2:30 Kim's time. I'd love giving you a hard time, Kim, for being out
I know.
in BFE. I do.
I know.
And it's unfair to you, but I'm not a fair person.
That's okay. I've put up with it this long. Let's, like I said, you're the older brother I never wanted.
No, very true. Very true. Okay, so we have our Fatal Fridays, 8 p.m. in the UK. That's 8 p.m. in the UK. And then again, 8 p.m. in BFE, also known as Central Time Zone. And so you can come hang out with Mark, Kim, and others.
Right.
Sometimes we sneak in. And then a new entry a new challenger has come forward. Daily Zombie Squad. And that's 6:30-ish Eastern Daylight Time. Roughly daily. Could you be more non-committal to this, Mr. Matthew?
I could be, but roughly 6:30 Eastern, Monday through Friday. Corzon and I have been getting together to play some zombies.
Okay.
There's room for 4 in the squad, so if anybody wants to play, we've mostly been playing MW3, MWZ, Modern Warfare Zombies. So happy to have 2 more in the squad. Be a great time.
That's 11:30 p.m. time. I'll be tucked up in bed an hour earlier than that. So
See, Mark, I feel like there's a lack of commitment.
yeah, sadly, it's the commitment to work and earning money to feed myself comes before playing games.
Right.
Fine.
Crazy talk. Crazy talk.
All right. I think we're at that point. It's been a fantastic show so far.
Mhm.
We're going to wrap things up now. Say some niceties, maybe some not so nice things. Depends. You know what? The floor is yours. However way you want to go. That's yours, not your. We will start with the giggling halfling. Kim Woods.
Yeah. See, now that you know how tall I am, now you realize what my shock was when I realized my poor little halfling is like 3 foot tall. So,
Totally fair. Totally fair.
like, shit, she's like half my size. All right.
But I
Anyway.
feel, Kim, again, in fairness the name should have been the dead giveaway.
I know, but I figured I would have been at least as tall as Mark's dwarf, but no. Mark is taller than I am. So
Well,
you know.
yeah, he's not a halfling. Half.
Oh, I get that. I understand, but
I mean,
still,
half.
even when
At 4 feet, if you were half, that would be
Right.
8 feet. I'm just saying the math here,
No,
Kim. You got to work the
I know, I
maths.
get that. But, I just never realized when you're comparing a halfling to a dwarf, there was that much of a size difference. So,
Just get on with it, short stuff.
right. All right. I'm going to thank you guys, as always, because, this is where I come to talk to adults when we don't even act like adults. So, anyway, there you go. Shout out to Boomer, who is the only one that was brave enough to enter our chat today. So, thank you, sir, for that. Other than that, hopefully this week there will be no more horse escapades that aren't my horses, but who knows? As long as they don't call me about it again, that'd be nice. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a good week this week, and I will pass you over to Mark.
Shout out to you guys. Great fun again, as always. A big shout out to Brisk for a great installation and great internet speeds, and bye bye Virgin. And over to Chris.
Bye bye Virgin.
I feel like we need like a Backstreet Boys song. Bye bye bye.
Bye bye. Yeah. I'm going to shout out the three of you. I'm going to shout out Mark's internet because it seems to have done pretty well today, despite a few dropped words, which caused my eyes to twitch. Apparently, I'm going to shout out all the Helldivers. We've had lots of different people jumping in Helldivers this week, and it's been a great time.
Nice.
And I'm gonna shout out Boomer, who's the brave Shat MVP of the day, the only one who's brave enough to join us. Bring some friends next time.
Right.
And I'm pass it over to Greg to close us out.
All right. Well, Mr. Matthew, well done. Knocked the microphone and we didn't even hear it.
It's the foam thing.
Yeah, the foam thing. It worked. Shout out to the three of you. Thank you for joining me this week. Always fun talking with you guys. Okay, so how do you guys feel about chalk on the sidewalk? So now, Kim, this doesn't apply to you because you live fairly remotely.
Right, I don't sidewalk.
Well, you don't have sidewalks, nor do you have neighbors in proximity to where their kids could come and like chalk up stuff on the sidewalk.
I do have nephews though, so.
Okay, all right. You ever let them chalk up your driveway? Kitchen floor?
They really don't. They don't really do that much. Or at least they didn't at my house. I don't know why, but they do. I know they do use it at home. So.
Okay. Mark, Chris, either of you ever have this issue? Neighbors' kids chalking
as a
chalking
kid,
up?
it was fun. As an adult, you think, "What the hell's that mess?" But yeah,
I don't know that I don't call it an issue. The kids in my neighborhood often get out in front of the houses and they draw on the sidewalks with different colored chalk, and they usually have some. It's fun to see their imaginations working, and particularly the kids a couple houses down will put they'll put a hopscotch board, or they'll put like some dance steps or some exercises. And so when I'm walking the dog, I'll stop and do whatever the instructions on the sidewalk are, and usually I'll hear the kids laughing because they get a kick out of it. So yeah, I'm in support. I'm in support of kids with sidewalk chalk. I'll carry that picket sign.
Okay. And
are there
you know
kids
what?
chalking up your sidewalk? Is that what's going on? To see you looking out the window.
So as of yesterday, this absolutely was a get off my lawn moment. And then I just looked out the window and they cleaned it up. So I can't complain. And you know what? And that's what I want. Clean it up. Clean your mess up.
But even if they don't, the next time it rains, it's all gone. No bigs. No bigs.
It all depends upon their creativity and their artistic capabilities.
Yeah, it's all
like if it's done well, I'm good. But if it's like all squiggly, like the boxes aren't really, uniform and it's junky.
Boy, here we go.
Oh, stop
just
it, Frankie
like
Pants.
little Picassos and
leave them kids alone.
I need Picassos on my street. Not okay. Another random thought that came into my head.
Picasso wasn't perfect when he started. You got to give the little Picassos space to practice their craft.
Ironically, Picasso was never perfect. That his imperfections was what made him kind of famous. Is that
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Kim, horses. I
What about
feel
him?
like an easy solution would be just tag their ears with little GPS trackers.
You know, that was actually brought up, and believe it or not, Dad was actually the one that said it. He's like, maybe we need to get them like a, Apple AirTag or a Tile
Yeah.
or something and put collars on them. And although, to be fair, in their defense, they weren't the ones that were fucking out. It was the neighbors up the road. But,
True.
because we were the only ones that had horses all these years, suddenly they were our horses. So, but
I
yes,
mean, the
no,
AirTag, all it would take is, the quick look of the phone. You'd be like, oh, they're all sitting there.
no, right.
So,
But I did think before, seriously enough, that I would put some trail cams up or something like that, because a lot of the trail cameras you got nowadays, they are more advanced than the ones that somebody would walk in front of them and they take pictures. You can actually pull them up on, kind of like a Ring doorbell. You can actually pull them up on your phone and be like,
Get
oh, hey,
motion
there they are.
alerts. Yeah.
Right. So I've thought about that, but yeah, it's funny that you say that, because that was one of the things Dad said was we just need to get them tags or something and put collars on them, and there we are.
yeah, I mean, at first I was thinking you could go like under the skin, and I'm like, no, okay, that's just you're going a little too far with that, Greg. Although I now think, Kim, you absolutely need some trail cams, because multiple things come to mind. Then one, raccoon,
Attacking
raccoon
kittens,
hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
This is like a needed accessory for you.
Right. I mean,
and
Bigfoot might be
also-
living out in my pasture. You never know.
Exactly,
So,
Bigfoot. Just
Bigfoot.
saying. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Good talk. This is why I love doing the podcast. I don't care if we actually reach millions or one person like Boomer, but we have fun talking to each other. That's almost the most important thing. Almost.
Exactly.
We will do this again next week. We will come back. We'll do the podcast. We'll be back here Sunday, same time, same bat channels. I got nothing else. Come back again. Let's do it. Mark?
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.
Love you, bye.